So hello, my name is Vasanta and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, since we've been going to quarantine times and I've been doing some astrological readings, the number one or two question people ask me is, is it possible for me now to work from home? What do you see? Do you see me shifting jobs? And 90% of my clients have been asking me this. So I have the great good fortune of being together with my dear friend Jatin Modi. He has come from India, and he's the CEO and founder of Frog Ideas, and it's one of the biggest marketing companies in New Delhi, India. So he has agreed to be here in the podcast with us and tell us his number one advice for, if you want to market yourself from home. So I'll let him introduce himself, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Vasanta. I'm happy you invited me, and it's
thank you for being here.
it's kind of you. Well, my name is Jatin Modi, and as Vasanta said, I run Frog Ideas, and essentially what we do is help companies become successful online. And I've been running this company over the last 7 years, and prior to which I used to run an e-commerce company, so been in the online space overall for the last 13 years or so.
Yes.
And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Right, so, I'm a dad, myself I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, usually I'm doing work one-on-one, but right now, market has really gone down and people are really learning from home. So, what I usually see is that coaches are really good at producing content, but, not the most expert at marketing themselves. Out of all the social media platforms that are out there, what would be your opinion? It's like, what is the place to invest if I want to promote myself online?
Today, if there is any coach, regardless of what field they're into, I think they need to become good marketeers.
Yes.
Because today, if people are not going to come and meet you physically, it's very important that you produce content. You produce the right kind of content, and then you're able to make sure that the right clients keep coming to you.
And how do you do this? Do you do this by targeting the audience?
Well, there are a lot of things to it. Do you understand your audience well enough to have laser targeted, a laser targeted audience, right? So you understand their interests, their behaviors, who they are, where they are, what do they do, how does the day look like.
So you need to know your ideal client.
Absolutely. Yes? You need to know your ideal client, and you need to be able to categorize it, because all social media platforms today allow you to target a particular client base and make sure that your message is seen by them.
What are some questions I can ask myself if I want to know that, if I want to find that out?
I think there are two parts to that analysis. The first is, what are their demographics like? So what is the age? What is the gender? How old are they? Where do they stay? Is there a particular locality that they probably frequent or are residents of? So pure demographic understanding, and that has to be laser targeted. So most companies and coaches fail when they say almost anybody can be my client.
Correct.
Anybody means nobody. It is also about understanding what your value proposition is and who it brings the maximum value to.
So let's speak now about value proposition.
Essentially what happens with most companies or people is that there is a very, very clear articulation of what your core value to the audience is, and who it brings the maximum value to. So for example, let's say you're a coffee chain, okay, and if you look at your own country, wherever you're based out of, you will see that there will be 3 or 4 different kinds of coffee shops. There is one coffee shop which appeals to which is a mass coffee shop. So for example, Starbucks can be a mass coffee shop. In Lithuania we have Viro Cafe, right? But there will also be coffee shops which are slightly more gourmet.
Correct.
Or they're they're appealing to a different sentiment inside a person. And that sentiment could be that I want, either bespoke coffee or gourmet coffee or, top of the line, not mass produced coffee. So the value proposition for both the coffee shops, while they are both producing coffee, is very, very different.
Yes.
Starbucks is saying, I'm giving you a repeatable experience every time you come into my store. Versus a gourmet coffee shop is saying, I'm going to give you a special experience which brings a very different flavor to your life. So I think that is the key difference to understand, that while they are both serving coffee, it's a different value proposition. So you as a coach or as a business, what is your unique value proposition to the customer? And to be able to articulate that in just one line is super important. And don't fall into the trap of saying everybody can be my customer.
So before I even go to Facebook and spend some money, yes, what I have to do is figure out what my value proposition is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so two things that we have learned so far. Who is my ideal customer? What is my key value proposition?
Absolutely. In fact, it would be probably the other way. What is my value proposition? And therefore, who is my ideal customer?
Correct. So we're walking and talking about it. We're going to get to the next point, which is?
Again, we wanted to go deeper down into targeting. And, we discussed demographic targeting based on your value proposition. The other part to targeting is psychographic targeting. So you need to understand, what are the behaviors of your target audience? What kind of phone do they use? What kind of shopping patterns do they have? What kind of concerns do they have? What kind of different Facebook pages do they follow? What kind of different things do they think about during the day? Based on that, it will give you a very good sense of understanding how to use social media platforms to actually be able to target them. Because social media platforms do a fantastic job at psychographic understanding.
So that's why you're scrolling on your feed and then you're always going to find something that really appeals to you. Like when I'm scrolling, I always find a lamp for YouTube that will put some, like those ring lights. Or then I find a coaching course. It's and it's always popping out the same. It's like how do they know, right?
Exactly. And I personally do yoga, and if I go onto my Instagram or Facebook, almost always, advertisements about yoga merchandise, yoga courses.
Yes.
Yoga mats, all kinds of things in and around yoga. So, social media platforms understand you better than you think they do. And probably you already know that as a consumer. So it's very important for you to understand what your target audience is consuming, so you can be able to target them in the right way.
What are some easy questions that I could answer if I want to know that?
What does a typical day of my customer look like?
Yeah, that's easy enough, huh? Everybody can do that.
And you need a very, very clear answer of that. What does he do when he wakes up? Where does he go? Who does he talk to? What are the concerns that he has during the day?
What is his age group?
Absolutely.
But even what brands he uses.
What brands he uses is very important.
Why is that important?
You want to target whatever you are offering is valid for a premium or a rich profile of customers.
Correct.
Now, a rich customer probably is not using an Android phone. He's probably using an iPhone.
Correct.
Now, the thing is that with Facebook and Instagram, you can actually target people who are using iPhones.
Wow.
Right? So, let's say that you are a coach who's give me a service that you would like to promote.
Like, for example, if you do emotional healing or you help people in their marriage.
Yeah.
If you're the type of coach that does all of those things, right?
Yeah.
Or for example, if you're doing breath work, or if you can help people understand themselves, it's going to be slightly different for everybody, right?
Yes, right. Let's take marriage counseling, for example.
Yes.
Which city?
Probably Europe.
So Europe, which city?
Well, I live in Vilnius, Lithuania.
So Vilnius. Which part of Vilnius?
Right, so specific, right?
Yeah, let's just go deep down into it.
Well, I hang out in the center mostly.
Okay, so Vilnius, old city.
Yeah, old town.
Old town, yeah. Is the psychologist, is it a psychologist?
Sometimes it can be a psychologist, yeah.
Okay, so is the psychologist elderly or young?
Mid-age, I would say 35, between 35, 40.
So has about 10 years of experience?
Yes.
Works with young couples or old couples?
Probably couples in the mid-range age.
So what's that age group?
I would say 35 to 45. Or maybe even earlier. I would say maybe 28 to 40 would be the... Or is that too broad?
That is quite broad.
Okay, so like you think, what would be the perfect...
I like keep it within 5-year range. So it can be 30, 35, 28 to 33.
Okay.
So what do you want to take?
Let's take 28 to 30. No, I would say, when do couples have most trouble? I think from 33 onwards, because it's when they have kids and it gets complicated.
So 33 to 38.
Yes.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Ideal customer for this psychologist, rich or middle class or poor?
I would say middle class, but you know, they can pay. You know, well off. Children are in school, paid school.
So you would say that, what's their average income according to you?
Above 1,500.
Above 1,500 euros a month?
Above. I would say above.
Overall, between the two of them?
No, just one of them. Between the two of them, easily 2.5.
2,500 euros a month?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay. Do they have children?
Yes, of course.
How many?
At least 2.
Okay.
You know, you're in the middle of the game, I guess, at that point.
And who do you think out of the couple wants counseling more? Is it the woman or the man?
Probably the woman.
Let's try to imagine this woman who's the ideal customer for this psychologist.
Well, probably, I think, healthy living.
Healthy living, okay.
Progressive in that sense.
Uh-huh.
Trying to gear towards yoga, does some breathing.
Yeah.
She wants to bring peace and like healthy food to the house. Probably some exercise. Probably some conscious living.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like definitely I see that.
This psychologist that we're speaking about is a psychologist for women to get the family into this psychology. Yeah. But for progressive, natural living, slightly conscious couples, yeah?
Correct.
Or maybe not even the couple, at least the woman.
At least the woman. I would say at least the woman.
At least the woman for sure. So what kind of stuff do you think she'll be following online?
Probably somebody that has it together in her marriage, somebody or someone, an influencer.
Wonderful. Do you have a name in mind?
No, because I'm not my wife.
Any name. Any name that you think women follow.
Well, let's say Oprah Winfrey.
Okay, Oprah
you know, I
Winfrey's
think
good.
she could be part of it, right? I could even picture the type of music a person that I could listen to.
What would that be?
I would say it's like Snatam Core,
Mm-hmm.
you know, mantras, but like maybe white people doing mantras,
Uh-huh.
not directly like fully on Indian.
So like Janvi Harris or somebody like that. Yeah.
Can be, yes.
Okay. You know, the good news is that is an amazing profile of a customer.
Okay.
And you can target a lady staying 5 kilometers from the radius of your place of practice. You can actually understand whether they have kids, whether they have paying power, so you can understand basis, what kind of phone they own.
Correct.
And you can target people inside that locality who follow Oprah Winfrey, who follow, so you can laser target them. So now imagine how powerful that makes your marketing.
Yeah, it makes it powerful and also makes you spend less money, right? Because you're not just going for everybody. You're indicating to the program or to the platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it's like, I just want you to talk to these people. Don't talk to everybody. Yeah, I would imagine like being an ambassador, right?
Mm.
You don't want to talk to all the countries. You want to talk to the right countries.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great example.
So you don't have to make friends with everybody. You just have to have the right friends. So here we are. Behind us is one of the most ancient oak trees in Lithuania. It's about 400 years old.
Oh my God.
And so we're going to be discussing, once you've targeted, right? how do we do advertising?
Yeah.
What is the content, and how do we go about content?
Any content needs to be broken down into 3 parts. Okay. Number 1 is what, we need to think of a funnel.
Okay. What is a funnel?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know, what is a funnel?
So this funnel you can think of, like how you have a funnel at home. A simple funnel, which starts broad at the top and goes narrower and narrower as you go down, right? So in this funnel, you need to now cut this funnel into 3 parts. The first part is called awareness.
Okay.
The second part is called consideration. The third part is called desire.
Wow.
And the fourth part is called purchase.
So that's the point of action, right?
Yeah.
Everything is leading for that sale.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm understanding is that the person does not immediately make the click, right? That, oh, I want to buy this. You got to be in their mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's awareness. The first thing is that you as a brand or as a company or as a person, you can't expect people to come and pay you money online without them even knowing you.
Yeah, because they don't know you, right? So even if you have the best service in the world or a PhD in psychology, or you've done all these courses in breathing or rebirthing, or it's like if people don't know that.
Yeah.
So do people need to feel like they know you?
They 100% they need to know. They need to know what so there are a lot of ways to create awareness. So you can make videos, right? Like what you are doing right now.
Yeah.
Make videos which help people in some way or the other.
Yes.
So now suddenly people are aware. Whoever doesn't know you in your immediate circle,
correct.
They know you that, oh, there is this wonderful person.
There's this guy, yeah?
There's this wonderful person in Vilnius, Lithuania, and he is a Vedic astrologer, and he gives great value to the community. So I want to be a part of his community. Right now we're not talking about Vedic astrology.
Correct.
We're giving value to everybody who follows you.
Yeah. And especially because I know that, for example, my channel is not the biggest channel right now. But at least there's a bit more than 1,000 people following and listening.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if maybe even 80%, 70%, in my estimation, it must be like 70% of the people that are watching, right? We're all at home, and a great percentage of these people were wondering. We have kids. Economy is not very active, so we are considering how to sell something online.
Yeah.
And we don't know how.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is, like, why would I be talking about astrology if right now the practical thing to talk about is what you do?
And that's fantastic, right? Because you're creating amazing content to help people who follow you, or help people who are their friends as well.
Correct.
And all that's creating is awareness of you.
And value, right?
And value.
You're already adding value.
Exactly. You're not selling to them.
No.
And if you were to sell to them, nobody would buy.
Because they're getting, correct. They're getting to know you, huh?
Yeah, because they don't know you yet, right? But once they know you and they see the value, that's when there's a relationship. Awareness is created. So that's the first part of the funnel. And then the second part is consideration. And what does consideration means? Now I know that you exist as a brand, as a company, or as a person. Now, if there is a need in my life for your product or service, the fact that I know about you will automatically allow me to consider you.
I'll connect with you.
Yeah, I'll connect with you. I'll say, oh, okay, I need this. Can you help me? Right? So you're now considering. You might evaluate 4 or 5 different options that time. So now in consideration is when they will start figuring out different facets. How much time does this guy will this take? How much time will it take to get delivered? What is the cost? What are the implications of my life if I actually end up buying this? So this is the part where your content needs to give a clearer understanding of your product, service, cost, time, all these kind of things, so that a person is able to make an informed decision.
Correct, because if they, first thing is they need to establish a relationship, feel like they know you, but then you need to inform them of what kind of a specific value you can add to them.
Absolutely.
So people need to be informed.
Yeah.
And as somebody that is posting on Facebook constantly or Instagram, your job is to actually give that information to people, right?
Well, yes and no. It depends on who's following you. So are there people in the awareness phase or in the consideration phase? So definitely your website or your landing page should have that content. But on Facebook, there is something as we call as retargeting.
Okay.
Okay, now that's a very interesting thing, which means that everybody who saw the first video you put out for awareness, you can make sure that only the people who saw that first video actually see the second video, which is about the information about your product and service.
Correct. Correct.
So this is very important, that the targeting that we do, you know, if only a person is aware about you, will they be considering your product and service and want to know deeper about you? So very important for content to be different, you know, down the funnel, and for it to be targeted right.
And then in the final stage where people are already considering to buy you, so like they've chosen you.
Yeah. So in the last phase, what you want to do is that you want to maybe give an offer, right? Only the guys who saw that second video, you can give an offer which says, oh, there is 20% off for the next 3 days, right? Or buy now and get one free, or for a limited period of time, or you know, you are closing a batch in 3 days.
Yes.
Right? Or it could be anything. There are multiple ways of thinking about it. So that when you've got their consideration, you want to convert that into a purchase.
So that's the conversion phase.
That's the conversion phase.
So Jatin, just to finalize, before people go and spend money in advertising in any of the major platforms, would you recommend that they do it just to try out and learn in the way, or would you recommend that actually people make a wise investment by following like the simple steps?
Absolutely. I mean, just spending money without really having a plan is just a way to waste that money.
So what I would say is, if you're watching and if you're interested, type in the comments down below if you would be interested in such a course. And it would be like a 6, 7, 8 hour course.
That's right, 6 to 7 hours.
Crash course on how to do, like say, Facebook advertisement.
That's right.
How to do it properly.
Absolutely. Facebook, Instagram, a little bit of Google, and that's about it.
And if you would be interested in such a course, let me know.
Yeah.
And since Jatin is right now here in Lithuania for a few months,
yeah,
I think we can get together and we can film it.
Yeah.
And within a week or so, we can have it up. If there is an interest and a need, we'd be more than happy to help the community.
Definitely.
So I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm, you know, like right now, I tell you, the number one thing that keeps coming up is like two things people ask me: when is the pandemic going to be over? And then the next thing people ask me is, do you think I can work from home? Do you think I can shift from my job and just do it from home?
Yeah.
And they ask me, you know, how do you do it? Or, you know, how is it that you get promoted and all of that? And, you know, short answer is that it's simple, but you have to have the knowledge.
Absolutely. It's just like any other skill.
Correct.
You know, you need to have some right guidance in the beginning, and then once you have that, then you're able to start doing things by yourself and then keep learning and getting better till the time you get to an expert level.
So right now, you know, since it's times where we are not like in extra money, so it's better if you educate yourself before you spend money in ads. So that's what I would tell you. I've learned in this way that, you know, you could throw 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 at Facebook and have no results because you're not targeting properly.
And Facebook is happy to take your money.
Yeah, always happy to take your money.
Yeah.
That's actually why they exist. No, that's their business model. Which is not a bad thing. I think that there's a lot of positive to it, but don't play the game if you don't know how to play the game.
That's right.
If you want to be a great player, you need a coach in every sense. So, you know, if you need the help and if this is interesting for you, please go ahead and let us know, communicate, and you know, we'll be more than glad to get together for an evening, a couple of evenings, put it together. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. Happy to do that.
All right. So I hope this helps, and thank you, Jatin.
Thank you.
Goodbye.